Hi everybody, I'm working on the Model Factory Hiro 250 GTO Ferrari, and I thought I'd make a video about how the wheels are built because they all have individual spokes and they have to be built. This one right here is the one I just completed. They look really cool when they're done, but it takes a long time, and I'm going to try and help you guys out. This is how the bare rim comes. Nice piece of turned aluminum with all the holes in there pre-drilled. Then Model Factory Hiro provides a jig to put the rims in. There's a front one and a rear one. They're different for some reason. So this one's in the jig. This is a front wheel. These are both front wheels right here. This is a rear. This is a rear. And then the hub is screwed in there. Is the first thing you do is you put the two main hub pieces in there, and they have a thing that holds it down, and you screw it down there so everything's centered and locked down. These are the spoke pieces. About 10 minutes ago I just dropped my phone on top of this and knocked it all over my work area. That was fun to clean up. But these are all the spoke pieces that go into building the wheels. These are the main spokes. And then these are little hollow tubes that slide over the spokes to look like spoke adjusters. This is the glue I use primarily, just some thin CA. Fine needle nose pliers, fine tweezers. I do have fine needle nose pliers that I'd use for twisting the spokes once they're in there. Sometimes you need to twist them. Probably show you that later in the video. Another pair of tweezers that I use that are flat bill tweezers that I put a piece of masking tape on the inside so that when you grab things, they kind of stick to them. So they grab a little better. I use these side cutters for trimming off the excess spoke. After you install the spokes, you have to trim off some of the excess because they still stick out about 10 or 12 millimeters. You're going to have to cut them down. I also have my Dremel with the cutoff wheel in there because some of them are at such a sharp angle you can't get them with the side cutters. So the Dremel works for that too. You're going to need an X-Acto knife. I use this glue looper for applying glue to the spokes when I put the adjusters on the spokes, the spoke adjusters. And I use this lighter to clean the dried CA off of the hole so that it's clear before you dip it in the glue again. I also use an old glue applicator for dipping in the glue and applying it to the back of the spokes. Like after I put them through here, I will apply glue to the back to hold them in place. I use these for bending the spokes. I put a little piece of tape there to kind of mark where you need to bend them when you bend them, because they do have to have a bend in them. And Model Factory Hiro provides these little photo etched guides for bending the spokes. So there's spokes 1 through 6. There's 6 different layers of spokes that you have to put in. This is how I did my hub pieces. I put the hub pieces together, I stacked them, I put a screw and a nut on there, and painted them with some All-Clad 2 chrome. Just an old Tamiya screwdriver for tightening this piece. And then these are what the instructions look like on this. That's how they want you to do it. So next I'll start assembling one, and it's pretty time consuming. So I'm going to try and condense this. I'm not going to have you sit through each and every spoke that I install. So let me pause this for now. So right here is a spoke and one of the spoke tubes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the spoke and I'm going to bend it just like this number 1 right here, the angle. So I will take these, I'm going to put this in there. I kind of bend it, and then you compare it to that. That's pretty darn close right there. So it fits in the jig, and then I take this come on. Ugh. Okay, now it's on there. So I put this in the jig, or the whatever you want to call this thing. You slide the tube up to there, and then the tube's where it's supposed to be on the spoke. So I'll use a piece of masking tape to put my glue on. I'll just puddle out a little bit of glue there. And I will take my glue looper. I'll hold this down with my finger. Take my glue looper and touch it to that right there. Oh shoot, did it stay? No, it moved. Sometimes you have to go back and check a couple times that the glue doesn't do its job right away. So you put it back in there. Okay, it's not moving. It's where it's supposed to be. So now it's time to put that in the wheel. So according to the instructions, they always have you have this hole, which is for the valve stem, at the very top of the wheel. Right here. I don't know if you can see that or not. But there's a hole right there at the top of the wheel. It's actually an indention to drill a hole for the valve stem. So they want you to start with that. And this is the first layer. So I'll start with this spoke. So you look at where the valve stem hole is. You go straight down, that one's empty, and you go to the first one left it on the bottom. And then you just kind of find where it goes inside the hub, and it's going to be on the bottom layer of the hub holes. What I'll do is I'll poke it through from the back side. And it's going to fit in one of those perfectly like that. And that's the first spoke. And what I do now is I take this guy, right here, make sure there's no, try to clean off some of the leftover glue on it. Or you can use a toothpick. This is a little pointier. You take that, make sure it's held in place, and take some glue, and stick it in there. I want to make sure there's enough to hold this piece. And it's in there, it's not moving. Alternatively, you can use some of the kicker to spray on there, but then you got to wait for the kicker to evaporate off before you can put your next spoke in. So that's what I do to start, and then I usually go counterclockwise around the wheel. And if you look at the instructions, the next spoke is you skip 3 holes. So then it's 3 holes in between each one of these spokes for the spoke number 1 layer of spokes. So here it is with all the first layer of spokes in. And what I do at this point is I take, for all these spokes that are sticking out, I take the side cutters and I snip them like that. But I don't usually just do it on the workbench like this. I'll do the rest of them over a garbage can, or else they'll be all over your work area. I'm about to install the spoke since we're starting to do the second layer. Now the first layer is complete. Another thing is I didn't mention is that I like to dip the spoke, this tip of the spoke, in the glue before I put it in. And the second row of spokes here is going to start going in the other direction. Come on. And there's the first one for that. And then I'll add a little glue to the back side. Alright, I'm going to pause it again. I'll get back to you when I get some more spokes. Here it is with the second row of spokes complete. So I will continue to make some more spokes. Here we have all 12 spokes assembled for layer 3, and now I will start installing them. So there's the whole third layer, and I just need to trim the ends off the spokes. Here we have all 3 layers in now, and I have 12 spokes assembled, and I'm going to start putting in the 4th layer of spokes. Thing. Oh. And there's all 12 spokes in the 4th layer installed. Okay, so I have another 12 spokes completed for the 5th layer. And in this step, you have to take this screw and the spacer out. And so in this step, the spokes will go through the holes just like before, and they'll just sit in this groove on top here. You kind of hold them with your finger till the glue in the back part is dry. I won't glue this area yet. I'll just set it in there, and then I'll glue it here while I'm holding it in the slot. This is how the 5th layer of spokes looks without trimming anything yet, but they sit down in those notches that you see there. Then there's a piece that goes on top of that, which I'll install next. Here it is with that piece installed, which is actually 2 pieces, but it's stuck together with the paint from when I painted it. And those holes you see there is where the 6th layer go. So that's what I'm going to do next, and then I'll show you after it's completely assembled. Here's the wheel with the 6th layer of spokes. So all spokes are now in, and just have to put this little cap on here so you can see everything real good there. Still have to cut some of those last ones in there. Have to cut them off. That's all covered up by the tire. Throw a bunch of extra CA on there so they're glued in place real good. You can't see it. So I just put this one part on, and this wheel's good to go, and it's on to the next one. And that's it. That's a wheel. So a couple things to watch out here for with these wheels. First one, if you can see it in there, but see all the little spikes from the ends of the spokes? Make sure that when you put the spokes in, try to have as little of this, as much of that sticking out as possible, because when you get down to the steps where you have to put the wheels on, you have a hub or axle that the wheel has to go onto, and it's not going to want to fit correctly. So you're going to have to watch out for that. See, the axle doesn't want to go through there. So I'll probably file that out until it fits. Another thing is, do not, if you paint your hubs, don't use the CA accelerator on it, because it will eat L-clad off. Can't really see it in this picture very well, but it pretty much ate the chrome off this hub by using some accelerator on a super glue.